Hey everybody, welcome to This Week in Stadia. Each week usually on Tuesdays, Google posts over at community.stadia.com a bunch of information about what's going on with Stadia in recent days. This is kind of a light week, which is not a huge surprise, seeing as how we had, I feel like it was 3 weeks of jam-packed news. If you missed any of those 3 weeks of jam-packed news, make sure you check out all of the other videos that I've posted so you can find out more about all of that stuff. Very Capcom heavy, very Resident Evil heavy weeks. Let's take a look at what they have to talk about today. First off, if you are a Stadia Pro subscriber, they are bringing back free stuff. That means free play days have returns for Borderlands. Now, if you are interested in checking out Borderlands 3, and you absolutely should, or if you're a fan of looter shooters, Borderlands 3 is really, really fantastic version of that, and it's really fun to play on Stadia. I played it from start to finish on Stadia, and I had an absolute blast with it. But from 9 a.m. Pacific time on Thursday, April 8th, until 9 a.m. Pacific time on Monday, April 12th, you can play Borderlands 3 free with your Stadia Pro subscription. So you can get a whole bunch of people together. I think, 4-player group together, hop in, try out the game that has 1.5 million guns or something. Somebody in the comment section down below will tell me exactly how many guns are in Borderlands. You can have guns that shoot guns. All right. It's a really fantastic game. It's ridiculous, really fun. And if you're looking for a looter shooter, you absolutely should try it out. If you're not already a Stadia Pro member, check the link in the description down below, and you can try it out for a free month right now. In addition, when we're talking about Borderlands 3, it looks like on the official Borderlands YouTube channel at 11 a.m. on April 11th, so that's right in the middle of that free weekend, they're going to be hosting a crowd play event where there's going to be some YouTube creators, not us, but there's going to be some YouTube creators that are going to be playing, and they're going to use crowd play to help people get into the game. If you don't remember what crowd play is all about, basically, if you're watching a YouTube creator and they have crowd play enabled for the particular game that they're playing, you can then just click a button just below chat and it will pull you into their game. You play around with them, it kicks you out and lets the next person in. It's a really, really great way to basically allow content creators to engage with their audience and play together with their audience without having to create a big headache for the content creator. I think that that's really awesome. I've used it on my channel in the past, and crowd play is fantastic, and I love that they are doing this. Moving on, The Dark Side Detective is coming to Google Stadia on April 8th. You can get it for $11.69. They say point, click, laugh, classic graphical adventure gaming and puzzle solving with a hilarious bent that will keep you clicking while you puzzle out the clues. You can pick it up on April 8th, like I said. And then we already knew that this game was coming, but it looks like we finally have a release date for it. The Legend of Heroes Trials of Cold Steel 4, which is like this if it's like the other Cold Steel games, it's a turn-based JRPG style game and here's what they have to say about it. In a world ablaze with war, heroes must unite. The members of Class 7 return to full-scale battles, political intrigue, and terrifically turn-based mechanics. Deep dive into the latest entry in this hardcore JRPG series, and you can get it on Friday, April 9th. So again, it looks like we're getting a bunch of new games on Stadia, which is awesome. There's also a bunch of discounts, which I will leave a link in the description down below so you can check that out. And those are Stadia Pro discounts, but there's also other stuff that is also on sale for everybody. Again, I will leave a link in the description down below. And there'll also be a link to the official Borderlands YouTube channel as well. So if you want to check that out, just check out the description down below. And while you're down there, leave a comment about all of the stuff that you may or may not want to talk about. All right, let's move on. And earlier this week, yesterday, I believe, I posted a question. My question was, and this is something I may want to do more often in the future because it's fun to have a conversation with you guys. But I said, we have a ton of new games coming to Stadia in the last few weeks. Which is your favorite and why? And I said, vote in the poll and then leave a comment and, we'll talk about it. And I'm going to do this more often in the future. Outriders. Now, obviously, I could not list off every game that came to Stadia in recent days. So I listed the ones that I thought were the ones that jumped out to me the most. And then I also left a something else on there. Outriders took 36% of the vote. Resident Evil 7 took 34% of the vote. Ys 8, 12%. Killer Queen Black, 2%. And Something Else was 16%. And people said the things that they were voting for. So let's take a look at a few of the comments that people left. I think that they are, there's some pretty good ones in here. Perry David said, Killer Queen Black has held my attention for well over a year since its original release on Steam and Nitro and Switch. It is such a fun game with a solid competitive scene. I love that it has crossplay on all platforms, and that's something that I absolutely agree with. The fact that this game is available on all platforms and you can play with anybody no matter what platform they're on, that is really, really huge. And it's great for Stadia because, let's be honest, Stadia has a smaller user base as it's a brand new, people are getting mad at me because I say console, but it's a brand new console. And so because of its smaller user base, it's tough to get games sometimes, especially for, these older games where people already played them on other systems. And so it's hard to get people to play against. When you have a game that supports crossplay on all platforms, that makes it so much easier for you to make the decision. You don't feel trapped into playing a game on the system because that's where your friends are playing. You play it on the system that you want to play it on, and you can still play with your friends. And I always think that is a very, very good thing. CIM made a comment. They said, Outriders, it's a bit messy right now on most platforms, Stadia most of all, but the core game is highly polished. The addiction is there. The gunplay is pure gold. People Can Fly are among the top 3 shooter devs in my book. I'm curious how long it'll stay fresh. There's a couple of things here. First off, I would not say that the game is polished. However, I would say everything else that CIM said here is 100% correct. The gameplay is really, really fun. The powers that you get as you play are really, really interesting. I'm playing a Devastator myself, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. However, the idea of it staying fresh, like that's one thing that I am worried about. And here's why. I believe Square Enix has basically said this is not going to be a game as a service style game, which means that when they ship it, they're done. I'm sure that they're fixing bugs like crazy behind the scenes, but that means that we should not, if they're true to their word, we should not expect a bunch of expansions and stuff like that. So how long will it stay active? That's the thing. I think that it's very interesting that they are not going down the games as a service route, and I applaud them for that. But it makes me worry about the longevity of a game like this. Will it still be, will the population still be viable to play Outriders when it's finally actually polished and it runs really well on all the platforms and all of those bugs are squashed? I don't know. I think that that's a big question. But I do like that game. I've played it on GeForce Now. I've played it on Stadia. I've played it on PC. I was talking to Lloyd. Lloyd's played it on all of those places, and he's played it on, he's played it not on PC, but on Xbox. And it's a really good game. Just has it has a few kinks. It has a little more time that needs to be cooked. Michael Marshall says, Resident Evil 7. I started playing on my PS VR when it first released, but the experience made me sick. Picked it back up on Stadia and having a good scare fun. I've been playing the Outriders demo on my PS5, even though I like the game Even though I liked the game, there were issues that made me decide to pick it up on sale. Let's see. We'll do one more comment here, and that's going to be this one from Mateo. He said, I voted Resident Evil 7 because I'm a great fan of the series, but also two very important games arrived on Stadia. The first is Dragon Quest XI-S, one of the best RPGs of the last years. The second is FIFA 21. Soccer is the sport most popular in the world, so it's important to have soccer/football a game on the platform. And I absolutely agree with all of that. I'm not a big fan of FIFA. I don't care about those games, but I know that is incredibly popular, and I want everybody to be able to play the game that they want to play it on the platform that they want to play it on. Thank you to everyone who either voted in the poll or left a comment on the post. I really do appreciate it. If you found this video useful at all, if you were interested in what I had to say, make sure that you leave a like and, of course, subscribe for more Nerd Nest news. I'll see you all next time. Stay awesome, everybody.